Hello and welcome to this video playing KillerKaz. Oh, it's got a high rating. Lead chess master. Okay, we are rated about evenly. The ratings are not that high, but yeah, playing the Reti system. I think this had some weird static value, this this formation. Okay, so black usually goes b6 or c5. Okay, this is certainly not a bad move. Yeah, I wonder if I take here, or I don't quite remember. I think you take. Is he really contemplating knight takes? It looks slightly off, yeah, to take with the knight, but in this particular position, probably there's nothing to do against it. Nothing special. No, you can probably take with the knight. Pawn takes is the most normal choice. Okay, so normally you go with e4 here. And rook e1, if I remember correctly. Preparing e4. I think c5, e4, knight f6, knight c3 is a position that I had analyzed for my English opening series. I'm fairly certain. If it wasn't that, it was very similar. So I think e4 is right. Yeah, knight f6 looks by far like the logical move. Knight f6, knight c3, cd4, knight d4. Knight c5 is not good because of e5. And knight e5, I play queen e2. You can sacrifice the piece on d4. I mean, it's not a sacrifice, you know, but I can allow him to take it. That's probably the better phrase. This even was played recently, relatively recently, I think in the US championships between, I think it was So and Onishuk, knight e5, queen e2. Knight e5, queen e2, queen d4, knight d5. Yeah, that wins material back with interest. Or you get the bishop pair, let's say, which is some kind of material advantage. The main idea of queen e2 is just to open up the d file for rook d1. The interesting thing is, if he goes bishop c5, there was some extremely strange line. I think there's a line like rook d1, bishop takes, knight b5, bishop f2, queen f2, There's something like that, where white gets fantastic compensation for the pawn. But I don't quite remember. I analyzed this and had it in my repertoire. So this is a moment where when you're not on camera, you can actually look it up in your chess-based files or so. I really never do that. It's a form of cheating, of course. But sometimes it would be helpful. Yeah, I sometimes don't remember my own opening idea. I also maybe let's think about this for a moment. Bishop c5. I don't remember what Onishuk played. He had a bad position out of the opening. He played something non-critical, I think. But I'm not entirely sure. Now, bishop c5 must be the critical move. Bishop c5, rook d1, takes. Bishop f2, queen f2. The knight is hanging. Yeah, he goes for it. This is the moment where you, if you know stuff, yeah, you're probably just going to blow him out of the water. Because that was an extremely dangerous position for black, and I'm fairly certain rook ed1 is correct. Moving the knight, he has knight g4, that's extremely lame. So rook ed1, bishop d4, knight b5, bishop f2, queen f2. Black's queen is attacked. And I have knight d6. I also remember something wacky with g4. g4 was a key move in this line. Yeah, sometimes you just remember like fractions. Also, both rooks can be put on d1. I wonder what is the best. Somehow I feel rook ed1, but okay, if I go rook ad1, rook ed1 is the better move if he just declines everything, yeah, like the queen e7 or so. White is of course just better after knight a4. I'm going to do this now. Oh, you see that, huh? I'm really curious what exactly I had analyzed. I can look it up in my files. But I remember that bishop d4, there was some line where you can allow to take. And it was very, very good for white. Or at least it was a super strong compensation. So he doesn't go for this. Okay, here knight a4 is what I mentioned, just better for white. I just gained the bishop pair. But it is solid, of course, yeah. He's got a solid position. Anything else? Or just go for the bishops? Wait, actually, knight a4. No, that's not a problem. Bishop a3, yeah, but I can just take that, play knight b5. and then knight to d6. Yeah. Yes, so I will probably win the bishop pair. Yeah, that line with taking is the critical one. Yeah, what is he going to do? It's not easy to defend this position. Maybe like a5 for bishop a6. In some cases I might have also discovered attacks by the knight. His knight on e5 is currently unprotected, so a knight move is a discovered attack. Yeah, I thought that wouldn't work. One thing that I was unsure about is taking knight b5, bishop a6. Very strange looking variation, but maybe this is his idea. Bishop a6, go for the pin. Knight takes e6, bishop b2. Doesn't work. No, that doesn't work. Okay. And if I take and go f4, that's the most aggressive move. Or f4 immediately. I would like to really put the queen on a3. Knight b5. Let's check this again. He's got bishop a6. F4 is a very loose move somehow. Knight c2, that doesn't net anything, he just goes back. Let's push him back. One important thing is that this drives this knight away from any influence on f3. So if he moves the knight back, this knight b5 is getting more interesting as bishop a6, knight a3, bishop e2, rook d2 looks good. Just have like e5 next or so. It just must be better for white. Even though the two knights look a bit wacky on a3 and a4. But sometimes it's just what it is. You have to play the hand you're dealt. Knight c6, knight b5, queen moves, knight d6 should be great. Yeah. Knight d7 looks lame. I don't see a tactic really. Knight g6, that is a really bad square. That looks really good. Unless I'm missing stuff. Don't see a good move for him. At least nothing that really looks like, okay, that's equal, yeah, or something even better. Every line looks good for me. In essence, Black's problem is that it's got some dark square weaknesses now, and I'm just better developed. Rook on d1, everything is a little bit quicker. And he's got that unprotected bishop. Knight b5 is a tempo, and so on. There are a couple of things coming, sort of coming together here. That's probably bad English. Some things add up, let's say. That's probably a bit more sophisticated way of putting it. No, I don't see a good move. Knight will come to d6. Maybe knight d7. Trying to make that work. Yeah, maybe. It's not particularly fun. Knight d7, e5, I think doesn't net much. Knight d5. Okay, he goes to g6. This is something that I basically had, more or less ignored for general reasons, as the knight is not well placed. That's true. The knight is not well placed. But still, of course, he can go there. Yeah, knight b5 looks like the normal move. Put it on d6. e5, knight d5. Doesn't feel correct. My problem piece is the knight on a4. This is really not good. So knight to d6. I'm threatening. Maybe not that much. Maybe not that much. Okay. I also have rook c8, rook c1, threatening rook c7. It's not so easy to play rook c8. Yeah, for black, I can actually take a7. Just grab stuff. That looks pretty good. Let's do it. And after like a6, knight d6 is just fantastic, yeah. Maybe bishop a6 now. That's a move I didn't really consider. That's a pretty awful pin. I mean, maybe it's probably not the end of the world, but still a bit of an awful pin. That's something. That's something I missed. And I cannot play rook c7. He just takes it. I can play this knight back, covering b5, but that is not really working well with rook c1. Stupid. How do I unpin that? I mean, maybe I just ignore that and play like e5, knight d5, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight to c3, take d5, just like brutal chess. E5 looks right anyway. So let's do it. Yeah, I think knight d5 looks like the move. Other moves look strange, really. Knight d7 for rook, then I play rook c7 anyway, or I can take the rook on a8. Of course, yeah, he has to go knight d5. Or does he have some kind of counter play, counter attack? Yeah, this one. Yeah, I thought about it, but I thought that this is just good. And where is the knight going now? Or am I wrong? I mean, there's still a8 is hanging and the knight is hanging. So what's the deal? Knight d5. Yeah, it looks like with some good moves white is going to win, but how? Bishop d5. Yeah, that's a pin. One of the more annoying pins. Well, bishop takes, pawn takes. I just need to get rid of the. Just need to get rid of the queen, and things fall apart. Don't see it. I don't see a win. Knight d5, ed5, then I'm really in some issues there, yeah, with this pin. It really feels like with a good move I'm winning. Bishop d5, ed5, a3. I can even check. It is good. It is good, yeah, but is it the best? Queen e4 is good, yeah. There are many moves that are just good, but determine what the best one is, it's not so easy for me. That knight on g6 doesn't have many squares. If I get in this bishop takes, pawn takes, knight d5. Okay, f5, e5 is actually hanging. So I was just thinking maybe there's some ideas on that knight. Do I miss candidate moves? Queen c4 is also a move that I considered. But probably just some rook c8 or so. a4 is not good, yeah. I'm missing something here, something elementary. I'm certainly missing something. Queen e4 doesn't really add up. My gut feeling is that bishop d5 is correct, and I'm not seeing how it actually wins. I can play bishop takes, pawn takes f5, playing on that knight. Maybe d4 then is an idea. Queen c4 is also interesting. Takes, knight takes, rook takes. Yeah, that's also good for white, but I don't quite see a killer, and I feel like there is one. Yeah, we're going to make a blitz game out of this now. Queen c4. This is something where the engine at the end will find something, I'm completely certain. Come on, I'll play a move now. It was a really terrible calculation job. In a position where there should be something, I found nothing. Going back and forth between moves. So we make a little bit more than a blitz game out of this now. I'm threatening to take, so and if he moves the rook, I'll take b4, take a7. So I'm winning a pawn in this kind of situation. And in general, I'm playing with all pieces, while here his g6 is not out. I mean, I saw pretty early on that this move is pretty good, but I felt like I should have a killer. I didn't find a killer. Okay, let's see what KillerKaz is doing now. Maybe just moving the queen. He's not moving at all. I cannot move the queen. Okay, so is there something else? Yeah, wait. Knight d5 is a move here also. Knight d5. But easiest is to take here and take a7. No? That just wins a pawn. Come on. It wins a pawn and the position should be good. So knight there, rook there. The rook to d6. Sorry, the knight to d6 is something that would be good. Now back here I will take. And a3, knight d3. Not entirely certain what the best way is here technically. Maybe take actually and then a3. Knight d3, rook d1 is a self pin. Yeah, it's a self pin. Knight b5 or knight c6. I have to watch out for my time as well. I don't know if I want him to trade, but it's probably not bad. Huh? Okay, so here just taking. Yeah, taking is good. Knight c7. Can go a4, b4 here. That b pawn is extremely weak. I try to get there, but I don't quite see. Okay, I bring the king up first. His bishop is not really that great. Okay, so now I can go back to b5 if I like. Don't like to completely decentralize it. Yeah, this is also a good square here. So check. Threatening checkmate. Not a nice situation. Okay, he kind of lost composure there. It was not yet made. Yeah, don't need to take that pawn. This is a good thing to have a little bit of an increment. You know that this is going to end in a logical way. The worst that can happen here is the the checkmate with knight and bishop. But with an increment time control, this is really very easy to do. And he resigned. Yeah, that was a tough game, and I'm really curious about this critical situation where it took an extremely long time. And I'm fairly certain I didn't play the best move. I don't know. It was really difficult. So the first critical situation is here when I played Queen E2. Yeah, again, that was something that I knew from my work on the English opening repertoire. This is a good position. Yeah, something like this. White is in a really good shape. Getting the material back, something like I can take e7, take e5, or take e5, take e7. It both looks good. That is not the critical move. Bishop c5 is more critical. Rook ed1. I remembered that correctly. Yeah, and now he played Queen e7, which is most solid and seems best, but this is a funky line here and then takes. Yeah, this is what I remembered from my repertoire. This, and then there was something really funny with g4, like the engine is finding it, I guess. Like here, and then Queen f4 or g4. Yeah, here, knight ed7, g4. That was the move that I remembered during the game. Something crazy. It looks crazy, but it is very strong. Yeah, if you take Queen g3, all of a sudden there's fantastic attack coming. Yeah, I remember that g4 was in there. So that would have been extremely critical. Yeah, Queen e7 seems better though, and I played knight a4 as the engine suggests, and this seems to be right, and I'm better. So e5 here is stronger, and then f5. Okay, knight b5 wasn't really good, or best, yeah. So this was already very strong. It looks very strong. But why exactly? Because I have... I can do this. I can do this, which is a double attack. Ha! So that was stronger. Yeah, that this wasn't that good kind of occurred to me quickly, because that bishop a6 resource, he went queen e7. But yeah, bishop, well here, okay, here I was reasonably happy. Yeah, because this must be good with e5, and the engine agrees. I just have the more active pieces, and this is not looking all that great. Like this. And now, yeah, just take the pawn is what the engine wants to do. Or take and do this. That also looks quite logical. But he went to e7, and now rook c1 wasn't good. I should play e5, okay. Rook d8 is okay again. So that was a not so well played part of the game, really. Yeah, and okay, e5. Okay, e5 is the most obvious move. You know what? I didn't really understand at that moment how dangerous or good f5 is. That is, yeah, I mean, forces the knight to h8. I didn't understand that. Rook c1. So bishop a6 wasn't good. Rook d8 was better. Yeah, I was thinking it here. I just take actually. But this is a naive way to think, yeah? Bishop takes, yes, okay. Okay, so we had this e5 here, and now I should just take a8. I didn't really think about that. That is a pretty simple move. I didn't really realize that I can cover the bishop. It was a lot better. Mysterious. Okay, I went here. I mean, that looks good, and it seems to win as well, but... And okay, queen c4 actually is one of the better moves. Yeah, I mean, I saw that this is better for me, but I felt there must be something more decisive, but the more decisive stuff was before. So now I have to just use this opportunity and play this position. Knight d6 was better. Okay, nah, that's not a realistic move. I just take the pawn. Let's see, rook d6, but I think what I did cannot be bad. That forces him into the stealth pin, and that's always going to be annoying. Knight c6 was stronger. Okay, why? Ah, knight d takes e5. I blundered a pawn. He can do this. I mean, that ending is probably very, very good for white. That should win actually with good technical play probably, but I'm overlooked that. Okay, by now we were blitzing, of course, but so this happened, and now this is just winning. Yeah, okay, here there were some inaccurate moves by both sides probably, but I think I didn't botch it up. Yeah, so I'm still reasonably happy. I could have taken on a8. That was a bit stronger, or not a bit stronger. It was a lot stronger, but it didn't occur to me at the time that I'm actually covering the bishop with the queen, queen g2 or queen f3. Yeah, it was a good game, I think. Thanks for watching.